In today's video, I want to take a look at yet another PlayStation 4 exclusive that looks to still be in development. Now, I say still be in development because this was a game that was already announced all the way back in 2014. We just figured it got quietly canceled, but a new trademark is suggesting that the game isn't dead yet, so I want to take a look at that. Also, Kingdom Hearts 3 has appeared in the PlayStation Network's add-on section. Is a DLC announcement coming very soon? Speaking of Kingdom Hearts 3, its critical mode is also coming very soon, so a lot of new KH3 content is coming. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice will be out this Friday. The file size for the day 1 update has been revealed and we'll go over that. Mortal Kombat 11 is getting a closed beta test. We've got date, times, and characters. And the Final Fantasy 15 journey is going to be ending soon. The final active time report is going to be held at the end of this month. Of course, this is ahead of the release of Episode Arden, the final piece of DLC to Final Fantasy 15, so we'll cover that as well. First up, let's talk all about Wild, a game that was announced all the way back at Gamescom 2014. It was being done by Wild Sheep Studio, and it's a game set during the prehistoric Neolithic period, approximately 10,000 to 2500 BC. It was going to be this procedurally generated open world of seemingly infinite size. Within the game world, you control a human and can use smaller animals to spy on others, or larger animals to support the player and their tribe in fights with other humans. Animals can be controlled by using shaman-like powers. Once possessing an animal, the gameplay moves to the point of view of the controlled creature. It was very interesting. A lot of gamers were comparing it to Far Cry Primal, so that gives you an idea of how old the game was. So that gives you an idea of how long ago the game was announced, and we hadn't heard about it for a very long time, so we just figured it got quietly canceled. However, Sony has actually renewed the trademark of the game, so it looks like it's still in development. Also, it was being headed by Michael Ansel, and he did note last year that he was still working hard on it as of July of 2018, but we hadn't seen new footage of the game, so that was a very worrying sign. The fact that Sony has trademarked the game once again makes me think that the game will be out at some point. Maybe it'll even be out in 2019. This is one of those games that you don't have to generate a lot of hype for, just because it's a game that when it does come back into the fray, I think gamers will naturally take a liking to it based on it being this open world game, based on it being a pretty ambitious game, a pretty unique game. And it's not like this is a game we have to see a lot of footage of, but it would be nice to hear updates every now and again. Maybe it'll be a PS4 exclusive that's released this year. At the very least, hopefully it's not dead and it will come to fruition at some point, and based on it being trademarked, I think it will. Next up, Kingdom Hearts 3 was one of the very successful games that Square Enix has put out. Square Enix obviously a little bit jumbled at this point after the release of games like Left Alive, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Just Cause 4, but Kingdom Hearts 3 was a massive home run, and now it's appeared in the PSN add-on section. Is a DLC announcement coming very soon? We already know that Kingdom Hearts 3 is set to get some DLC, so this just seems like a foregone conclusion, but it does seem like with the appearance of it in the add-on section that the announcement would be coming very soon. Kingdom Hearts 3 has been one of those games that's been very successful for Square. You know they're gonna want to monetize it as long as possible because they have a lot of games that have been failures. Why not monetize the games that have been super successful? And Kingdom Hearts 3 has been one of those. However, Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to get some new free content in the critical mode, and that is coming very soon. Those who are wanting more difficulty in Kingdom Hearts 3 will soon get their wish. Co-director Tai Yasue was hands-on in this year's GDC, confirming critical mode is coming very soon and will be more than enemies just having a value change. Yasu said that it's more technical and offensive and more for those who are good at action games and timing attacks. He also said that the skill required will change the way you play the game, so yet another layer being added to Kingdom Hearts 3's gameplay. Can't complain about that, especially because it's adding as a completely free update. Kingdom Hearts 3 released back in January of this year. At this point, you're still paying a hefty price for it, so this is a game that has kind of held up in value. I mean, I've seen it as low as like $50 on Amazon with a $10 Amazon gift card. So if you look at it that way, it was down to $40, so that's a reasonable discount. But in comparison to games like Far Cry New Dawn, it's definitely held up in value, and it goes to show how good of a game it is as well. Next up, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is one of the highly anticipated games of early 2019. I could go as far as to say of the entirety of the year. No matter what games get announced for 2019, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, I think we're gonna look back at the end of the year being like, hey, that was one game that gamers were super excited for, and now we are just a few days away from the release of the game. And on top of the base game, it is gonna have a day 1 update, a pretty sizable one at that, a 3.5 gigabyte day 1 update. The game itself will actually be rather small, only 12.52 gigabytes of hard drive space. That's when it's installed to the system through the disk. But then there is also update version 1.01, which will add a little over 3.5 gigabytes of content as well. So you're looking at a 15 to 16 gigabyte install. That's relatively small considering games these days. I mean, look at the Division 2. That game was nearly 100 gigabytes on the PlayStation 4. If we can get more games that are 16 to 17 gigabytes, hey, I'll be all over that. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, to be completely honest, considering the quality of game that I'm expecting, this is a game that I would forego 80 to 100 gigabytes for, and I do expect it to be an early contender for Game of the Year of 2019. If you have yet to check out that gameplay overview trailer, I would highly recommend you to do so. 5 minutes of a lot of combat in the game, 5 minutes of a lot of the different elements and layers that the gameplay has. This game is going to be tremendous, and you guys know how I am. I very rarely recommend games at a full $60 price point. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is one that I'm very, very comfortable and very confident in saying it's going to be a game easily worth that $60 price of entry. But just know with the purchase of the game, you will also have to download a 3.5 gigabyte day one update. A game, however, I am a little bit hesitant in saying that it'll be worth a full $60, and a lot of you guys might come at me for this one, is Mortal Kombat 11. Not because I don't expect Mortal Kombat 11 to be a great game. However, this game is going to have sizable season pass content, just like every other fighting game these days, whether it be Dragon Ball FighterZ, whether it be Dead or Alive 6. Man, fighting games is just one genre that these publishers are monetizing the hell out of. I can understand to an extent, but that is putting me off a little bit more and more. But I am not the most avid of fighting game fans, so I understand from a fighting game aficionado, you're looking super forward to Mortal Kombat 11, and I completely understand your excitement. And for those of you guys, you'll also want to know that a closed beta will be starting soon. The closed beta test will fight its way to the PlayStation 4 later this month, and it'll be beginning on March 27th and end on March 31st, although it's gonna depend on your time zone in terms of when it's actually available. It'll be available 8 a.m. Pacific time over here in the States, and you'll be able to play as Baraka, Scorpion, and Scarlet in the Mortal Kombat 11 closed beta test. If you want access to the closed beta, it's actually not all too difficult to access the Mortal Kombat 11 closed beta. You need to pre-order the game from either the PlayStation Store or from a participating retailer. They just want you to pre-order the game, and of course, you guys probably know if you pre-order the game, you play the beta, and maybe you don't like it for whatever reason, you can always cancel your pre-order, so that's not a big deal. But canceling your pre-order probably would be a little bit easier if you go through a retailer, because then you could just go in and ask for your money back, and that won't be too big of a deal. I believe with a lot of retailers, they only ask for $5 down as well. With a PlayStation Store pre-order, you'd have to pay the full amount, so just bear that in mind. But the Mortal Kombat 11 closed beta test will be kicking off on March 27th. And lastly, I do want to give you guys the heads up that Final Fantasy XV's journey will be wrapping up with the final active time report, and it will be held at the end of March. Square Enix announced via the Japanese official Twitter of Final Fantasy XI that a new active time report stream will be held on March 26th. The stream will include the latest information on Final Fantasy XV updates, new information on the FF15, the Dawn of the Future novel, and new gameplay and info for Final Fantasy XV Episode Arden. The stream will feature Final Fantasy XV Global Director Akio Ofuji, Final Fantasy XV Episode Arden producer Yuji Shinoda, and Final Fantasy XV Episode Arden director Takafumi Terada. Other guests will also appear. Now, if you guys know the story about Final Fantasy XV, it's a little bit unfortunate, as the game was set to get another wave of DLC content. There was supposed to be another episode based on Noctis, another episode on Luna Freya, and other content also released. It looks like they really wanted to add some longevity to the Final Fantasy XV experience. Unfortunately, a lot of that content was canceled, and now all we're left with is Final Fantasy XV Episode Arden. So that is a bummer. Episode Arden has the potential to be very good. We got that anime prequel video, and that was quite nice, but it is a little bit unfortunate to see the Final Fantasy XV journey end this way, especially after the long wait of actually seeing this game released. Yes, it didn't turn out the best possible way, however, through the Comrades update, through the Royal Edition, I do think the version of the game you're buying now is rather compelling, especially because the Royal Edition is available for like $20-$25, and for all the content you get, it's pretty good. Even though the story's an absolute train wreck, I do think there's more good in Final Fantasy XV than bad, and again, it's just sad to see the journey end this way, but hopefully Episode Arden turns out pretty well, and we'll hear more about it at the end of March. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, the PlayStation 4 exclusive in WoW looks like it's still in development. Sony has filed a trademark for that. It doesn't look like it's dead quite yet. Kingdom Hearts 3 might be getting a DLC announcement very soon, as it has appeared in the add-on section of the PlayStation Store. Critical mode to the game is coming very soon. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice will have a 3.5 gigabyte day one update. Mortal Kombat 11's closed beta will be kicking kicking off on March 27th. Pre-order the game at a participating retailer or the PlayStation Store to get access. And Final Fantasy XV's final active time report will be held at the end of March. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.